why do you need a private IoT network? Why why have a private 5G IoT instead of going with a public cellular? So it comes down to basically three distinct points there. First of all, as a utility, do you want to have full control over the technology life cycle of your solution and the deployed assets? Right, number one. Because under any circumstances, AT&T, Verizon, or any other public cellular is going to guarantee that even for the very large IOU, they're still not going to do it. So that becomes a big, important strategic determining factor. And then second is, do you want to have the reliability? Do you want to have an additional level of reliability that that needs to be put in an SLA basis? So whether it's a application level or a service level SLAs. Again, public cellular is not going to do that. And so you, if you have a natural disaster, if you have a critical event or a crisis event, do you want to stand in line next to a broadband traffic or a consumer traffic that goes through the same network? So those are the decision points, key determining factors that makes the decision one way or the other. And the last point is security. So 5G IoT Security Framework, whether it's a private network or a public network, the underlying, the first two layers are exactly the same. So you have that security that comes built in, whether it's you're doing private or public. But the big difference is that you have your own license spectrum, you have your own complete separate traffic. You're not mixing with anybody else's traffic. And as long as you have your network in the same trust zone as your cloud or your backend IT systems, you have as much of a protected system as you can currently have. So if you, to the extent that security aspects are a big important factor for you, then the decision swings in favor of having a private network. And the last point that is outside of the three main factors is the economics of it. Until very recently, the cost factor was a big variable in terms of killing any such initiative. So Bob mentioned earlier in the first presentation this morning, 8% of the cost is spectrum, and remaining 92% goes into many other things. That shows a huge inefficiencies still exist in the industry in realizing the solution, putting them into practice for a utility. So what 5G IoT, and I'm going to mention that as a third point later on, what they have now gone as is that now you can vertically optimize, a fully optimized vertical stack that is purpose built for the IoT technologies. So that enables you to, for the first time, your cost basis is coming to the point where it is not that different from a public cellular cost option, which has never happened before. So NB-IoT, as Bob and Prakash mentioned in the first presentation, takes only about 200 kilohertz at a time for this carrier. And Cat-M takes, start with 1.4 and builds up from that. You do not need a big broadband spectrum. You don't need 3+3, you do not need 5+5, you don't need 10+10. So now you can start as a lower cost basis on the spectrum side. You have a fully integrated, vertically optimized stack, and the system solution providers coming into the play, and a shameless plug for us, Puloli as well. But that with those two factors coming into play, now for the first time as a utility, you have a economically viable option in addition to meeting your technical and business operational needs. So those are the big factors that are playing in favor of having a 5G IoT, private 5G IoT network.